Hey, Desperate Housewives super fans. Happy Wicked November.
What did you call it? Wizvember?
I think Wizvember, Wickvember, like I'm trying to get something good.
I like Wickvember.
Yeah, Wickvember works. Um, Wizvember, I don't know. I can't figure it out. So listeners, I don't know, but I'm Christy Gomez,
I'm Summer Moran.
and this is We Know What You Did.
It makes us sick.
We're
We're going
going
to
to
tell.
hell. Ah. I can't okay. So everybody else, when the clock strikes 12 on Halloween, everyone's like, it's Christmas. No.
No,
No, it's Wicked.
it's Wicksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving. Wickmas.
Wickmas. Yes.
So it's Wickmas, Wickvember, Wicksgiving. Like my brain, from the moment the clock struck 12, has okay, I guess this light's not working. I like my wicked brain cells have been my neurons have been flaring up really
Yeah.
bad. Like I'm so excited.
I am too. I also don't think the listeners realize that you and I have three separate screenings planned.
No, and like okay. And in like a shocking turn of events, I am coming home for Thanksgiving the next week. So we have to also see it at AMC 34.
Oh man, I know. So let's let's talk for a minute. I feel like we haven't recorded this podcast in several years.
No, I feel that like that too because the last time we recorded, I was so like October drains me. Every October, I'm always doing things.
Yeah.
That like I was laying in bed. I haven't even listened to that episode because I know I was giving nothing. So I apologize to the listeners.
I mean, nobody said anything, but they're probably just being kind.
I think so too. Because it was bad. It was a really like I can't even listen. I'm sure it wasn't that bad, but like I've truly never been more exhausted than I was recording that episode.
Let's get into our moments of desperation.
Okay, do you want to kick us off? What was your moment of desperation and however long since we've recorded?
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's just been all such a blur, and I know I say that a lot, but if any like week or two has been a blur, it was this past one. We had Halloween. I will just go ahead and say that one big thing is that I was supposed to film my short film the weekend of the 25th, and it was going to be 3 dates. Very excited. Like everything was locked in place. I wrote it, I was going to have a role in it. And the week before, we lost our DP. And she took a job in San Diego, blah, 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 had to cancel on us. And I thought, well, that sucks, but I am going to make good use of my time and I am going to somehow just like fill those days with being productive. And I didn't do that because I got sick and I have no idea how it happened. And I thought it was just going to be like this weird little 48-hour cold, but I still sound nasally
When was this?
like 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow.
Or maybe a little less, like a week and a half, but still. And I just thought that was so strange that I just kind of got like a little sick out of nowhere. And it was like I was just sick enough that, you know, when you're like trying not to cough in public because you don't want someone to get icked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a lot of that. And then just being too tired to even try to be productive. Um, Luckily, like I can't think of a single standout moment of desperation, but I will say Halloween 2024 was so much fun. Now, listeners, I love Miss Sabrina Carpenter. I think her music's fine. It's cute, whatever. But she is so like aspirational to me. She's everything I want to project onto the world. And if I had unlimited funds, that is exactly what I would do and look like. And I had such a dynamite costume for her that I had random women calling out to me on the street, being like, "Oh my God, Sabrina!" There was this car full of women, probably like our age or a little younger, and they drove past me with the window down and went, "Espresso!" And I was like, "Yeah, that's so cute." And I was just really proud of this costume. So part of my Halloween experience was that at work, I work in a restaurant, in case anybody forgot, we had like a costume contest and a pumpkin carving contest. And I am not what you would call trustworthy with sharp objects.
One of
But
the many things we don't trust you with.
so my GM gave me this pumpkin carving kit, and he was like trying to get everybody involved, and they had some really cool prizes to give away. So one was like a hotel night stay, one was a spa day. Like they had some really nice prizes. So I said, whatever, like I'll give it a shot. And it took me the better part of 4 hours to carve a pathetic looking pumpkin. But I've never carved a pumpkin in my life. So when I brought it in the next day for the pumpkin carving contest, dressed in my little Sabrina Carpenter garb, I was like, okay, like this is, I could maybe win a prize here. No, no. Every other pumpkin was so good, so incredibly creative, and so well done. I felt like I had failed art class or
Do you have a
something.
picture of your pumpkin?
I do.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
And I want to see the
So
other ones. I need a visual, as do the listeners.
I will show you mine and then I'll show you which one won. So this is mine. Do you know what it's supposed to be?
No,
It's the emoji that goes like this.
that doesn't convey. But like, I can't do any better. So,
No, no, I understand, but this is the one that won. My friend Erica, she made fake French fries to go with it.
wow.
So really,
Whoa.
yeah, really impressive. Um, that said, I got an honorable mention for my pumpkin, and I was one of the four winners of the costume contest.
What was
So
the honorable mention of your pumpkin?
I couldn't believe that I got honorable mention, but I got a $25 gift card for it.
Oh, gift card to what?
Just for anything I want.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was actually pretty happy about that. And then just Halloween night itself was amazing and so much fun. Like I had a really good day. My
Mm-hmm.
bosses were not taking anything too seriously, and we were so slow that they like let me do their makeup. General manager, you know who, like let me sit down in his office for like 20 minutes and just paint his face. It was such a great day. So that is my day of elation for all of you. I hope you guys had as much fun this Halloween as I did. I think I have never looked better, and I just want to replicate that every day of my life. And then, as I told you, and I didn't tell the listeners this, but server Jennifer saw my costume and she goes, "Oh my God, you're Sabrina!" And I was like, "Yes." And she said, "I know her." And I said, "What are you talking about, server Jennifer?" And she's very new, so I like
Mm-hmm.
don't know any of her lore yet, except for this. And she said, "Yeah, she was a regular at my old restaurant. I like have her phone number. She's a great gal." I'm paraphrasing. And I was like, "Oh, well, you can like take a picture of me and send it to her if you want." And she did. So what was yours?
Oh, brother. All of October, really. I am obsessed with baseball.
Oh, brother. No, you're a few years too late on this. Okay.
No, like, first of all, I spent all of Halloween weekend not out doing Halloween, my favorite holiday. I was at the sports bar 3 nights in a row going to the baseball, like watching the baseball games. And
And you understood what was going on?
of course, I understood what was going on. Do you know who my father is? I know how baseball works. Like, I just chose to. It's baseball to me is like, it's truly a second language where it was always around me. I know it. I just choose not to speak it.
Right, right, right.
By night 3, I was sitting at the bar going, "You damn Yankees, come on, you're embarrassing me. Get up. No man should be fumbling over their feet. Come on, hit the ball, hit the ball, hit the ball."
Oh my God.
No, like I was a I'm a huge baseball stan now. I'm obsessed, and I think I'm an like I was obviously supporting the Yankees. Apologies as a Mets fan, as a New Yorker, but I do like the Dodgers as well. So I have to have a season's pass to Dodger Stadium next summer. Like I am obsessed with baseball. I think it's so fun to the point where
I know.
the last two games, Heather and I were so like we were so like beaten down tired from going to the bars. Like we were like we can't do it. We were really the Yankees really fumbled. Like they did so poorly, but I was really hoping they would at least win the last game just so they would come back to LA so we could do
Right.
another weekend of baseball. I was in my apartment watching the penultimate game. Heather came over, we were watching it together. The last one, I was sitting completely alone, glued to the TV, screaming. I was screaming at the TV.
I
Like
have never been prouder of you in my entire life.
you and my dad both.
Yeah.
Every day he called me, he was like, "You watched the game?" I said, "Yeah, I sure did. I can't believe what happened in the fifth inning." Like
Yeah.
something has changed within me.
Yeah.
Something is not the same.
I love this so much. This is great information.
No, like I am obsessed with baseball. So that happened. I changed a lot over the last few weeks. And so that happened, and then also okay, so then there was these 23-year-olds at the bar one of the nights we went to the Yankee fan. I went to Rocco's down the street next to Jax's. That happened to be the Yankee meetup. So there were a lot of Yankee fans there.
That's hilarious.
So this kid's talking to me and he's telling me how he grew up looks young, told me how he grew up on Fifth Avenue. So, and then he had like a good assistant job somewhere. So I'm like, okay, probably just graduated college, you're 23. So we're like chatting and his friend said something. He points to one of the players in the Dodgers and he goes, "Yeah, he has, I don't really know how to explain it to you. I don't know how to explain momentum to you." And I said, "You could just say momentum. I did go to school. I am actually really smart." These 23-year-olds, so embarrassed. For the rest of the night, they were just like, "Oh my God, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. I can't believe I said that to you. I am a feminist. I'm voting for Kamala Harris." I was like, okay, I'm going to ride with this. I think I also cast a spell on Donald Trump. So I went to vote last Sunday, and it was a very completely opposite experience of me voting last year when I was in a 4-hour line. I hiked Fryman Canyon, went off to Tree People, voted, come back. As I'm voting, I start going, "Ángel de la Guardia de Luz y Compañía, cuídame Kamala Harris en la noche en el día." I submit. Listeners, this is a prayer from my Puerto Rican grandmother that I used the last election and just whenever I want something. So I go down the mountain, I go home. All of a sudden, Puerto Rico's all over the news because somebody at the Trump rally called the island of Puerto Rico a pile of trash. And it's like the one thing you can't mess with is the Puerto Ricans, especially the stateside ones who have never been to the island. Like they ride for that place more than anybody in the world. So and the Puerto Ricans very much could flip Florida. And I was just like, the direct brujeria I just did from using my Puerto Rican grandmother's prayer, all of a sudden the Puerto Ricans are changing the election.
That is so crazy, actually.
No, it was nuts. And then the next night I'm watching the game and I said I would like the Yankees are down 0. Like they have not scored a single run. In the last inning, I turn to my friend and I go, "What if I say this prayer and they get a run?" So I start going, "Ángel de la Guardia de Luz y Compañía, cuídame the Yankees." As I haven't even finished the prayer yet, 2 Yankees are running through home run and they get 2 runs in one inning. No, it was really like I had chills.
Yeah, that's spooky.
I know. I was like, and then I did it the one game that they won. I said the prayer before the game. Yeah, it was really scary.
I need you to start doing that. Like, I will make you a list and send it to you, but like,
No,
you
that's not how it works. I have to feel it
come
within myself.
on.
That's not how it works.
Use
But
your powers for good.
I am.
Okay, good for me.
No, like I have a lot. Like I can't. Like I don't think that's how it works. Like you need to find your own thing. But like this is, I can't believe it. Like I am literally alphabet. Like I'm doing something crazy.
Yeah, like Elphaba wishes.
Yeah, alphabet wish it. Like my road of good intentions led roads. Such roads always lead. No good
Close
deed. That's
enough.
how I
Welcome back,
felt.
Elphaba.
And also to top it off, yeah, so I did baseball all Halloween weekend. And then on actual Halloween, I was dead tired. We were all tired. Nobody really wanted to do anything. But I was going to this party and I started painting myself green. I stayed at the party for all of 20 minutes and I went home. I was like, I can't do this. I was so tired. Like it was nonverbal. But I started painting myself green. I bodied Elphaba. I showed up to the party. Two gays went, okay, Elphaba. And then I was like, I got what I needed to get from this, and now I can go home.
Yes.
But like, I need to call Steven Schwartz in the Tesla office because it's time.
Halsey off. You know what? Close enough. Leslie off.
I'll post a photo. It's on my normal Instagram, but I'll post a photo for the listeners because I was just like staring at myself in the mirror. I was like, whoa, I'm defying gravity for real right now. And then I got home and showered. I had so much like green on me for days and under my nails. When I was walking, I was like, oh my God, I literally was on Broadway last night. And that's why my nails and my hair is a little bit green because the green is always with me because that's just my lifestyle now because I'm painted green every night.
So, okay, so just discussing our outfits for
Right.
the different screenings. I
Mm-hmm.
think I'll bring the Sabrina outfit because it's very much like bubble dress.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna bring my birthday dress, and I have one other, like my pink dress that looks like the popular Broadway costume.
Mm-hmm.
And then like we can switch out whatever, but you and Hannah are both doing Elphaba, right?
She wants to do Elphaba one night. I think I'm definitely gonna go green one night
Yeah, you
and
have.
like do the full look.
Yeah.
But I think another night it would be really funny if I went green, but like just wore sweatsuit.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah, or like a little shiz hat or something. Like just casually, just like how Elphaba would be out day to day.
Casual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll definitely do the witch hat dress. I think when we go see it on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
But when we're at Universal, I think I might just get like a shiz sweatshirt or something and shiz hat, and be green.
Yeah, I like that a lot. You could also, like, if you wanted to do like a full-on green outfit without painting yourself.
I just like painting myself a lot though.
Yeah, I understand.
No, like, whoa.
Oh, whoa. How much did you do? Like, did you do up to your like forearm or something?
Yeah, I didn't need to because it was a long sleeve dress, but I
Oh,
just kind of like went like that. I did my hands, I went up to my forearm, and then I did like my chest and my
wow.
yeah.
Love.
No, it looked so good. It was truly like this is what I was born to do. I think I gotta figure it out. I gotta talk to somebody about this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's get somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
I loved all of this. Let's maybe rock into the episode now.
Okay. Also, I bought the book, and like they should not be promoting it like this because there's gonna be a lot of kids who are gonna go see this movie, and some parents who maybe don't know much about Wicked, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Oh my God, yeah, read the book," and then I don't think that's a good idea.
No, you're absolutely right. You started it?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. I want to actually go back and read it now as an adult and like see what the difference is.
You should. I think we should revive book club.
Yeah, I think we totally should. I went looking today at the bookstore, but I couldn't find it.
Oh wow! Oh my God, selling out! Everybody is here for Wicksgiving. Also, I have to see the show on Broadway when I get home.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we're gonna have to see it at AMC 34 maybe in the morning, and then go to Broadway at night.
That's actually fine, yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into this episode then.
All right, all right.
So this episode, it's season 7, episode 8.
No, it's season 3.
Wait.
So it's season 3, and it's called Beautiful Girls. And as soon as I saw the title, do you know what started playing in my head was, damn all these beautiful girls. Why
I'm just crying.
the
I'm
work
crying at me.
had me suicidal. Now I
No,
have.
I'm crying at me saying season 7, and you just go, no.
No, it's 3. My left eye is
Whoa.
watering so bad.
Whoa. So Susan and Ian go on a nice date, and she starts to feel like Cinderella a little bit. And he helps her with her shoe or whatever, and then they go back to his massive, like, huge house. I don't know why anybody would have that in the middle of Fairview.
Well, no, Fairview is like upper middle class.
Yeah, but this is like an insane mansion with a butler.
Yes, and the butler is quite literally Alfred from Batman.
Oh, I was thinking Niles from The Nanny.
So different actor.
Oh, no. I meant the character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the character was very giving Niles.
Yeah, he was giving Niles. He like indirectly calls her a tart. Like he's super sassy.
Yeah. And his name's Rupert, and he's like, I've never heard of you, Susan. So Ian has begging Susan to date him, and then doesn't even tell his butler about him. Come on.
What kind of man doesn't disclose that to his butler?
Literally grow up. Why aren't you telling your butler?
Do you remember the episode of Drake and Josh when Josh like had his license and was driving Drake around, and he kept calling him Chives?
Yeah, I do remember that.
This butler gives Chives vibes.
That's so funny. Drake and Josh are kind of mean and Sophie coded.
Who was who?
Oh, I was Drake. I'm pretty sure when she first got her license, I did something similar where I would sit in the back.
That's hysterical. Driving this crazy. So then we are at the police station. Lynette and Tom are there, and Lynette is really trying to convince the cops that the neighbor Art is a pedophile. I'm not sure if we're allowed to say
You're
that.
allowed to say it. We're not on TikTok. You're allowed to say the word pedophile.
Okay, so pedophile.
Sex offender. Pedophile.
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 We can't get demonetized if we don't have anything coming in.
No, this isn't YouTube or TikTok. You're allowed to say adult words. Pedophile.
And Lynette is
Rape.
You're bad. Guys, I don't endorse anything Christy says.
Kill. Die.
Obama. Atomic bomb. Oh, it's gonna be a fun one to edit. Okay, so Lynette is like, this scene made me laugh so hard because Lynette is trying to explain what she saw at Art's house, and she's like, you don't understand, it just had this creepy vibe. And then the guy is like, okay, so how did you know about the room with all the pictures? It comes out that Art wasn't home, and so Lynette effectively broke in.
Yeah, and then it's like, that's such a stupid law where it's like, okay, technically she was breaking the law going in there, but she saw something bad, so that should override.
Yes, absolutely.
That was like, oh my god, my crazy neighbor. It was a whole thing, but the bike thief came and he stole his tools and had a bat, called the police, and the police were like, well, we might have to arrest you because you took his stuff and you have a weapon. Stupid law. But yeah, she does. They don't believe her basically, and it's like a woman's intuition is never like that's a mother. A woman's
Yeah,
intuition is never wrong.
and that's such a serious accusation that I feel like you have to investigate that at least.
Right.
Like if somebody's
Uh,
making that kind of harsh claim.
yeah, like keep an eye on them at least before something happens. Like,
Yeah.
stupid. And Tom doesn't really believe her either. He's just like she's a little cuckoo crazy right now.
Ugh, poor Lynette.
I know.
Then we're with Gabby and the stylist, Vern. I was so excited to see him back. He's so fun.
And basically he's like, this is the last day I'm going to be styling you because I'm starting a company. And she goes, a styling company? Like, can you get any gayer? And he goes, actually, I'm going to be teaching little girls how to like be pageant girls. And she's like, okay, you did get gayer.
And I honestly love this arc for Vern. I want to see more of like how his business continues to flourish and thrive.
Mm-hmm.
I want a sneak peek into the life and times of Vern, and I want to know like where does Vern where does Vern live in this universe? Who is his support system? Because he's always giving 110% to Gabby, but who's there for Vern?
Not Gabby, for sure.
No, she just takes.
She sure does. But he asks her, please, can you help me with the girls? She's like, ugh, why would I want to do that? And then he's like, please. She's like, ugh, okay.
Then we go back to Susan and Ian. I was like, oh wow, we haven't seen Bree yet. We've gotten two Susan Ian scenes, but they skipped over Bree. And Susan asks Ian about Rupert, and she's basically like, hey, why didn't you tell him about me? And Ian is like, oh, well, Rupert is really dedicated to Jane.
And then she's in a towel, and as she's bending over, Rupert, it was so funny. Rupert just walks in, sees her bare bum and probably way more, and then just like walks in and then immediately turns back around. And then he goes, Rupert. And he comes in, she goes, oh my God, your timing's impeccable. And he's like,
It's really not.
all the time. And she asks for a drawer in the house.
Yeah, she wants to have a little room to like put some of her things.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed out loud when in the next scene, Bree begins by calling out Mother Hodge. The shoe. I'm like, what do you mean, Mother Hodge?
Wait, also, is this the season when Bree's pregnant, when Marcia was pregnant? I thought that was later.
I thought it was later too.
But I think it, because Danielle has the baby with Austin, right?
No.
I think so. Because I think Austin cheats on Julie. That's the whole thing.
I don't
But
think so.
like season 4, like a bunch of things I feel like happen in season 4. I feel like I'm starting to see happen now. But season 4 was so short because of the writer's strike. So
Oh.
yeah.
So how many episodes are in season 4?
I think like maybe 17. Like it's a shorter season.
Oh, okay.
But because I remember, is Carlos blind all of season 4?
I don't think so. I thought, was that not during Time Jump?
I no, because I like remember there's a very specific scene where like she uses his disability pass to go shopping. Because we see him like we see like a bulk of him being blind, and then he regains sight at some point.
Well,
after
when
Time
is
Jump.
the hurricane or the tornado or whatever?
I think it's this season. It's at the end of the season. That's why, yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of stuff I'm starting to remember. But anyway,
Just Bree calling her Mother Hodge took me out.
she comes down and she's like, "Why is there a lock on the liquor cabinet?" And Bree's like, "Well, because you're not supposed to be drinking with the medication you're on." Bree makes no mention of how she's also an alcoholic.
Right.
But whatever, glossed over that.
Hot kettle.
And how you have 2 delinquent teenage kids. Like, I think there's a lot of reasons why there should be a lock. Maybe not a liquor cabinet at all. In fact, you should not have standing liquor in the house.
Let's put books in there.
Mm-hmm. If
Make
you're
it a
throwing a
little-
party, buy it for the party. Like, I don't think you need to have liquor in the house. Really.
Yeah. And there was one thing about this scene that jarred me. It's like in that previous scene, it was morning and Susan was getting her little dress on or getting dressed. and then suddenly it's nighttime and they're having dinner. Like
Oh, I
that.
didn't realize that. They really jumped ahead, huh?
Yeah.
Um, also, she says grace about wait, because then the next scene is Edie and Mike. Was it that at nighttime? Okay.
Yes. I think.
Um, but Mother Hodge says grace about being a wretched captive, and I thought that was really funny.
She calls Bree the commandant, and it comes out that she wants Orson to buy her her own house.
Right. Which he sold her other house without her knowledge, so I feel like he should.
Yeah, she's making a point, and then
Yeah.
in the kitchen, Bree kind of pulls Orson aside, and she's asking what Gloria means when she's like threatening him and saying, "You can't afford not to buy me a house."
TTT. Then Edie is helping Mike with the bills, and he's kind of staring at Susan's house a little bit. Okay, again, I've said this a million times, but because I'm focusing on things that wasn't like the Susan Mike storyline, this is like less sinister than I remember it being.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I remember Edie like just rubbing it in Susan's face the whole time
Yes.
and like being all over him, and that's actually not the case. She's actually being like nice and normal, like helping him with the bills and everything and stuff.
Okay, but I also had a memory of that. I thought there was like a much thicker love triangle going on of
Yeah,
this is my man, you know.
maybe it's later because I swear it was like, this is my man, this is my man. And Susan was like, no, but Susan kind of just was like, okay, well, if he doesn't remember me, I'm not going to fight.
I also don't remember Ian being around this long.
Same. Like,
Huh.
I thought it was maybe he leaves at some point and then Susan's like fighting for him back because I remember, I don't know, I'm remembering this differently.
Yeah, me too, which is weird because like I've seen it 3 times, you've seen it 5 times, and for
Eight
some
times,
reason,
maybe.
oh, and for some reason, like stuff is just not. I don't. It's not familiar to me.
I know, it's crazy. Um, so then he goes outside and the detectives are watching the house and he's like, leave me alone. And then he
Get
goes
out of
back
my house!
get out of my house. And then he goes back inside and looks at the spooky toolbox.
Spooky, spooky toolbox.
Yeah.
Then we see Gabby at the. I'm gonna call it pageant class, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
She enters and she sparkles as Vern tells her to do, and the way the music kind of became dissonant when she saw her audience made me laugh so hard. She pulls Vern aside and she calls the girls and their mothers a petting zoo.
That was the best comment I could ever. Oh my god, that was literally me in Vermont, I think.
Yeah.
Calling everybody a petting zoo. Oops.
Oops.
And he's like, come on, be nice. She's like, oh my god, this is gonna be hard. They're all grotesque.
There was that little girl. Oh my God, she was like in everything. I don't know the actress's name, but do you know who I'm talking about? The one that had the pigtails?
Yeah, I think she's the one who Gabby dates her dad later on. She was in Not So Raven.
Yes.
I remember her specifically from Not So Raven. She played the really annoying neighbor.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So then Carlos shows up to Mike's house and he's like, hey, how are you doing? We're best friends. And Mike, again, James Denton is playing this so well where like he just like doesn't seem well in the eyes. Like
Right,
he's
right.
just like he seems like very out of it all the time and he's like, sorry, I don't really remember you. And he goes, it's Carlos, I'm your best friend, remember? Hang out all the time, we're best friends. I was wondering, like, hey, I don't really, my condo's feeling a little bit tight, can I move in? And Mike's like, I don't know. And he goes like, please, I'll help you out around the house, I'll pay half your bills. And he's like, okay, sure.
Carlos
And I
Blanc.
love this dynamic, and I think it was like a big inside joke between the writers and the viewers, him calling Mike his best friend, because I don't think we've ever seen them interact once before this.
Okay, I wrote that down too because I wrote says they were best friends, but I feel like we didn't see them together ever.
I think that was a joke.
Yeah, I realized that by the end of the episode. I was like, oh wait, he was just saying that to have a place
Yeah.
to stay.
Wow. Nothing gets by you, huh? You sly dog.
You sly dog. Then we have Lynette watching out her window. She sees Art walking over to return her cake plate. And then Art gives her the plate back and he starts grilling her about being in his house. And it was like stressing me out really bad. And Lynette is like, nope, nope, I didn't look around. Like, I didn't even make it past the kitchen. I just like left the cake and I went home. And of course, who outs Lynette? Parker.
Stupid kid. But also, I don't think Art wasn't being like weird about it at first. He was like, "Oh, you were inside. Like, did you like the paint job? Like, what are you thinking?" And she's like, "Oh my god, no, I didn't look anywhere." He goes, "Come on, I'm a new neighbor. Of course you're gonna be a little bit nosy and like peck around." She goes, "Nope, nope, I didn't do that." You could have just been honest. You could have said, "Oh my god, yeah, Parker ran downstairs, but I got him up." Like, you just,
I don't know. It felt to me like he knew something. Like I got
yeah.
a more sinister vibe from it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
read
yeah,
it
that
that
was
way.
weird.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But then after Parker says something, then he gets really weird
Yeah.
about it. Um, I don't know. I just feel like the storyline is like only like minusculely fleshed out.
Yeah. Agreed.
So then I said the girls are all allergic to serving at the pageant show.
Yeah.
And Gabby says to imagine there's flashing lights and everybody's looking at you and staring at you and jealous of you and calling you hot. And that's really good advice, actually. I think I'm going to start using that every time I walk into a room where I'm nervous.
Yeah. Gabby is amazing. This is what she was born to do. Then we have Bree and Orson and Gloria getting a tour of a house with Edie. They're thinking about getting this house for Gloria. It is an actual crap hole, and there's a roach, and things are like falling apart, and it's in a really seedy part of town. And Gloria falls when she's in the other room with Edie.
And Orson's like, okay, we have to get that fixed when you move in. And Bree's like, she cannot live here. And he's like, I don't care. I want her out. She's evil. And Gloria's kind of with it too. She's like, I don't care where I live. Like, I got to get out of there as
Yeah.
well. Like, she does not want to live with Orson. She doesn't care if it's a bad neighborhood. She just wants out.
Which is so like interesting to me because what can Orson and Gloria agree on if not like this
They
is
don't want to interact.
right, right. And like Bree is the one that's like, no, this is my decision. It's strange. It's like these
Especially,
grown adults are
right.
agreeing on this.
Especially like you don't know their dynamic. Like, that's mother and son. And
Mother
they haven't.
Hodge and son Hodge.
So it's like, I don't know, maybe she's projecting her own son issues on Orson
Yeah, it could be.
and Gloria.
Mother Hodge. It's just so silly.
Then Gabby is with the petting zoo girls and she buys them pizza and they're all having a great time. And then they're like, can you please come back tomorrow? And she's like, oh my god, like I'll have to check my schedule, but sure. And then they're like, what do models eat? And she goes, oh, they don't eat pizza unless they have a finger for dessert. And then this is like, you can see like this is a core memory for these girls because I think everybody remembers the first time that they're told that like you have to be skinny to be pretty and cool. And this is what happens. She
Yeah.
completely changed their perspective on life in one little joke. It was just so funny. Her going, the finger for dessert. She goes, or oh my god, cigarettes, laxatives, like literally listing off every way to have an eating disorder.
Yeah, she's not holding anything back. And then one of the girls says, do you have to be skinny to be a model? And Gabby goes, of course. When is the last time you saw a fat person on a magazine cover? And I just thought that was so interesting because of where we are today. You know, like that's something that I guess didn't age well.
I just think it was funny how then they pan to the chubby girls.
Yeah.
Like they did them so dirty.
Yeah.
That's the thing about acting. It's like the roles that you get picked for and everything. Sometimes you're just going to be made fun of like that, and that can like
Yeah.
I wonder how these girls are doing today.
Well, and that's the thing is like I actually think about that kind of a lot as an actor, but I'm also like there are people who have been able to make their living playing like the ugly character, the fat
Yeah.
character, what have you. Especially I feel like in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see that so much anymore, or like you'll have like not skinny people in leading roles, and so like it's really different. But I always wondered like how would that feel on a personal level if you get an audition for something and you book it and it's quite literally named like Ugly Woman or something?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's, I would be like, oh, okay.
It's kind of
Even,
sad.
even in, I think in Back to the Future, were you the one of the people who's never seen Back to the Future?
Yeah.
That's crazy. We need to watch it. It's the best movie of all time. But, there's one scene. Oh no, I'm not thinking of Back to the Future. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Home Alone.
Oh.
The brother, when he like, when he's like, oh, what's the brother's name? What's the brother's name? No, it's not Biff. That's why I'm thinking Back to the Future. I don't know, but he goes, oh, your girlfriend, woof. And they show a picture, and they have like the boy actor dressed up as a girl because the director didn't want to like,
Oh.
do that to like make a girl like feel that way, which I thought was in the 90s. Thank you, Gary Marshall.
Oh, Gary Marshall.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not gonna, that's mean. I'm not gonna do
God
that.
rest his soul.
I know.
He's dead, right?
He is dead.
Okay.
R.I.P.
Then we have Susan trying to make nice with Rupert. He does not want to look for a drawer for her in this house. He really doesn't want to do anything for her, actually.
No, nothing at all. Also, I noticed that dresser. Wait, are we at the dresser yet? Hold on.
Yeah.
I think my parents have that in New York where the TV is in the bedroom.
Oh, interesting.
I'm gonna have to it looked so familiar to me. I'm like 90% sure that it's the same piece of furniture.
I love when that happens, when
I
like you
know.
see a piece that you own.
But like a random, like, where I don't know where it came from. It must have come from like a Pottery Barn or something if it's
Oh, sure,
on
sure.
TV. Because like furniture is so like, especially at this time, I feel like now everybody gets to the same few places. Before, there's so
Yeah.
many options. So yeah, Susan's trying to win over Rupert, and he brings her into this like musty storage room, and she's like, you need to respect me. And he kind of calls her a mistress and a gold digging whore, and then she slaps him in the face, which is like, that's elder abuse. And
He started it.
he did, but like, don't slap the help.
I don't think she could help it. Like she immediately apologized and she was
That's
like, I
true.
wouldn't have done that. Like I think it was involuntary.
That is true. I don't know. I just think like slapping somebody who's like doing a service for you always makes me icky. Like, I think it's just mean.
How often does that happen that you witness it?
I don't know, like being mean to waiters and stuff.
Yeah.
Being mean to waiters or like abusing like somebody who's, I don't know, just made me kind of sad. I was
Okay.
like, that's mean. He doesn't make that much money. His whole life is to serve Ian. Like, don't hit him. He has
Yeah, but
a sad existence.
Ian is not a commandant like Bree.
Yeah, but still, like, I don't know.
Like, I
A
feel like
grown man has to bring another grown man coffee every morning.
I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, let's, like dive more into who Rupert really is. Like
I need more on Rupert. I think he's in love with Ian. Or Jane, one of the two.
Okay.
But basically he's like, you are a mistress. You are not just the girlfriend. Just take a look around. Ian hasn't moved any of Jane's things he left, just as you left him. Well, yeah, he's also leaving her a vegetable.
Yeah, like
So,
if Jane has no fans, I guess Alfred is dead. I mean, not Alfred. Rupert is
close
dead.
enough, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Tom is with Lynette on the couch with every single one of their kids. There was a lot of minor paperwork to do that week because they were all booked and busy sitting on the couch. And she has her little sling on, and he goes, I'm gonna go help Mike install a pole in his shower. I'll be right back. She's like, okay. He gets up and leaves his wife crippled with 5 kids. Goes
5 kids under the age of 7.
and goes to Mike's to watch a game with Carlos.
But I wrote that I like seeing them bond.
No, I loved it. I love seeing the three of them, but I think it's so funny that his wife with one working arm and
Yeah.
5 kids, he's like, gotta go.
My next Desperate Housewives fan fiction might be seeing these three bros hanging out.
No, like I would have loved like a spinoff if like they all got divorced and they like moved into like an apartment together.
It's very like Chandler and Joey
I
coded.
was thinking that. I think which one's which?
Well, since there are three of them, I feel like it's kind of
There
hard.
has to be a Ross too.
Yeah, but Ross isn't fun.
I've always been a
You
Ross
always like
truther.
Ross,
I
yeah.
like Ross. I think Mike is kind of the Ross.
I was gonna say that, but I
I
hate
think
that.
I think Tom
Is
I think
Joey.
Tom's Chandler.
Really?
And then Carlos is Joey.
I would flip those two.
Really interesting. I
Because I
mean,
feel like Carlos has more of that like dry sort of sarcasm going on, and Tom is more goofy.
that's true, but then I feel like Carlos is more of like the womanizing.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. So I guess it could go either way. I wonder if Doug Savant auditioned for Friends.
I could see that happening.
I feel like he did. Oh my God, listeners. Also, so when I was at another October party at my friend's bar,
You get it.
this man, yeah, this man came in. I had met him previously because once I was at this bar and he said, I was like, listen to my Desperate Housewives podcast. And he goes, my friend's on that show. And I said, oh my God, who? And he goes, Ricardo Chavira. And I said, oh my God, no way. So then he walked in again and he didn't remember me and he introduced himself. And I was like, no, we've met before. And this was the only time I didn't feel like uncomfortable being like, no, we've
Yeah.
met before. Because he's just like a drunk at a bar.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we've met before. You told me you're best friends with Ricardo Chavira and that he's cheap. And he goes, yes, that's my friend. It's cheap motherfucker. And he goes, text him for me. You can text him. He was like, I was with him 2 days ago. He's in LA. And I was like, tell him to come here. And I texted him on his phone. On the phone, it was like, Ricardo, cheap motherfucker.
That's hysterical.
And I texted him, come to the bar.
You
And then he
texted
was,
Ricardo Chavira.
yeah, I did. And he didn't come. So, Ricardo Chavira, come on. He also sent a photo of me. He goes, I'm going to take a picture of you and tell him to come. So I was like, and then the guy Irish goodbye. But I'm like, are you bringing Ricardo or what? I want him on the podcast.
We
Ricardo Chavira, come on.
Ricardo Chavira.
Like he was at a Foreman's in Toluca Lake. They were there 2 days before. I go there all the time.
Come on.
I know. My God, if I'd seen Ricardo Chavira in there.
So then Vern goes to Gabby's house and he's really, really upset with her. And he's getting all these complaints from the mothers saying, like, oh, this one is bulimic now, and that one is smoking cigarettes because you told them they had to lose weight to be models.
And again, like at least 2 of them are gonna have lifelong eating disorders because of this.
Statistically
Like,
speaking.
statistically, 2 of them are going to be struggling with their weight their entire life.
That's a crazy
Like those
thing.
things stick with you. I'll never forget when my dad, I'm eating an Oreo, and he goes, if you keep eating those, you're going to be 150 pounds. 150 pounds for my height is fine.
Yeah.
But in my mind, forever, that's like obese.
So the moms are all mad.
Yeah.
And Gabby is just so upset because Vern is going to fire her from this. She wants to keep doing it. Like now she's enjoying herself. She's like, no,
And
no,
she
no.
bought them all presents and stuff too.
Yes. She wants a second chance to make things right.
And then Lynette falls asleep because of course she does, and Parker just wanders away. And then Mike asks Carlos and Tom, he's like, was I ever violent before the accident? And Carlos is like, honestly, you kind of kept to yourself. Like, we didn't really know anything about you. And Tom goes, yeah, that's coming from your best friend. Like, come on.
Don't you think Mike has not smiled in well over 6 months.
I think that's why, like, there's something James Denton is doing in this performance that is making him look so distant, and it might be not smiling and not emoting.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like he's almost kind of just like reading the lines,
Yeah, yeah.
but he's not like acting, and that's like why he's like keeping so like, hey, did you guys like he's giving like so not sociopath, but like there's like a blank stare in his eyes at
Yeah.
all time. Like there you can see there's not much going on. Should have got an Emmy, I think.
Let's get somebody on the phone.
Yeah, retro grade the Emmys or whatever it's called.
Retcon.
Retcon, yeah.
Then Mike wakes up, which it would be so funny if we could call this episode Lynette Wakes Up because now we have Mama Solis wakes up and Mike wakes up.
Wait, Mike Christie, can you stop putting two titles on episodes?
Okay, but sometimes I don't know which one sounds better.
Well, ask me and then we'll vote.
You don't like them? Or do
I
you just
like
not like me?
I don't like the or like putting two titles on an episode.
But that means it's up to the viewer to decide which one they like better.
Well, it's not up to them, it's up to us who title the episodes.
Okay, so you didn't like the acquisition of the Delfino search warrant?
I liked that. You should just kept it there.
But we also loved Gloria's Grand Theft Auto.
Then pick one or the other. It should have been Gloria's Grand Theft Auto.
How are you supposed to choose when there are two funny things?
I would have said Gloria's Grand Theft Auto next.
Listeners, tell Christy she's wrong.
No, they're gonna think I'm right.
I'm calling this episode Lynette Wakes Up.
Okay, call it Let's Wakes Up. That's fine, as long as it's one title.
Well, I feel like there are so many better titles I could give it. But that's the thing is, like, I get selection fatigue, so I just...
I think of one on the spot. Like, I think I named it Gloria or Mama Solis Wakes Up. Hit Me With Your Best Car. Like, those I just think of it and write it down.
Hit Me With Your Best Car was a good one.
Yeah. Remember when I wrote you a monologue within like 2 minutes while also looking for an Airbnb and babysitting?
Yeah.
That was the most talented I've ever been.
And then I did it in a show.
You did. I remember because I went to that show and I was like, oh my God, I wrote this. Those are my words.
My words are being performed.
Yeah. Whoa.
So Lynette wakes up and she freaks out because Parker is missing. And she runs out. She sprints over to Art's house with her arm in sling and like rushes in there. And she's like, "Where's my son? Parker, Parker."
She was so like giving Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Where's my son? He's all alone.
There's a pedophile in his home.
So yeah, so then she basically goes down to the basement and it's empty completely. And she goes, where'd the pinball machine go? Where's everything? And he goes, that was all for the children's hospital. I donated it. Which is kind of sketchy.
Yeah, that gave me chills.
That was sketchy, yeah. But also it's like just having stuff like that isn't like incriminating. Why didn't you just take the pictures down?
Exactly.
Like a lot of grown men and have like collections like that. I think that would actually be cool. If I went to a man's house and they had a pinball machine, I'd be like, that's sick.
Yeah, you're allowed to have your arcade.
Yeah.
You just can't have young boys shirtless.
Exactly. Like that like the pinball machine wasn't the problem. It was in fact the wall of shirtless boys is the issue. Like, I don't know. I think it would have been actually so funny and probably really dark and twisted if everything was gone in the basement, but he still had the wall of pictures. I'm like, oh, I don't know what you mean. Like,
yeah. Do you think that Art is reading the Paul Young playbook?
Yes. He probably left a copy in the Young house. Like, it's the curse of the Young house to do something stupid.
I really miss Paul.
Me too. I think about him. Oh, I thought about him later in the episode too. So he tells Lynette to chill and he's like, oh wait, no, sorry. Yeah. So everything's been donated and his sister, who is kind of giving Nessa a rose.
You can't say that just because she was in a wheelchair.
Well, like they're both characters who are in a wheelchair.
You're about to get called ableist by so many strangers on the
I don't think that's being ableist when
internet.
I'm just pointing out that this character was a. Hi, Tofu.
Hi,
Do you see
Tofu.
his little paw? Where
I
this
don't.
character was a sister who happens to be in a wheelchair.
Oh, a sister.
And Nessa Rose is also a sister who happens to be a wheelchair. And guess what? Both of their siblings are being accused of doing something bad. So I think that's very Nessa Rose core personally.
This feels like, why are you booing me? I'm right.
That is my slogan. Come here, Tofu.
Tofu.
Oh, he's so cute.
I know he's so cute. Let's go through these last few beats
Okay.
because I'm ready for bed. It's 8:28 p.m. in New York City.
Whoa.
So
Yeah. Take it.
so Nessa Rose looks out the window and she's like, "Isn't that your son over there?" And Tom is bringing Parker back home. And Lynette is like, "Oh my God, what?" And Tom's like, "Oh, he just came over to see me. Like, what is going on?" And Tom suggests that Lynette goes to therapy because the supermarket shooting affected her more than she realizes.
Which I think is so valid. I said that in the last episode. I was like, why is she acting like this? Like, was actually extremely traumatic. Why is she
Yeah.
acting like it wasn't? So I thought he was being really good in this. Like, he's being really soft with her. He's not being like, you're crazy, Lynette. He's like, hey, you could possibly be overreacting because I think, PTSD will do that to you.
Tom's got
So
W.
I think he actually was. I don't know why people hate him that much because I think he actually was very good in this episode. So he's like, I think you need to go to therapy. And she goes, you're right. I need to talk to somebody. And then we cut to her sitting on a bench talking to McCluskey.
Yeah,
And she's like, I don't know. He's so creepy. I was cracking up.
yeah.
And she goes, well, I told him like I wouldn't do anything. And she goes, I didn't say I wouldn't do anything. And then she makes a call.
Didn't she whip out a knife?
No, she whips out a phone.
Oh, I thought it was like a Swiss Army knife.
That was simply a phone and she's making a call.
Oh. Oops. So then Susan is talking to Ian at his mansion, which is the only place we've seen Susan this entire episode. And she's talking about how she wants him to make room in his heart for her. And he's like, I'm worried that if I let you in, I'll be pushing Jane out. And Susan is just like, hey, that doesn't need to happen. Like, you can just have us both there. And it's like very tender and sweet. And then Ian starts to take Jane's things and move them over so that Susan can have some room in a drawer.
I thought that was nice, but also it's like he really was like in on this relationship. He was like, "Oh, Jane's been a vegetable for years," and now all of a sudden he's like, "I don't want to let Jane go."
Yeah, and that's something we've seen before is like there's this little bit of continuity error in
Mm-hmm.
characterization.
Oy. No, oh my god, Did you ever watch Gossip Girl?
No, I couldn't get through the first episode.
Okay, the first season, I loved it when I first watched it, and I have tried to rewatch it so many times. And the first season kind of is hard for me to watch, but then once I push through it, um, I've been like addicted to it again. And there's this character, Jenny Humphrey. I
Oh, that's
swear,
Taylor Tomlin, not
Taylor Momsen.
Taylor
I
Momsen.
swear, every episode she's a completely different character. Like she'll be like really sweet, and then all of a sudden she's dealing drugs. She's like setting something on fire. It's really like, and then and then she gets in trouble, and then the next episode she's like sweet little Jenny Humphrey again.
That's
It's so like it's
weird.
really unbelievable.
Yeah, that's jarring. It's like
No,
how do you characterize somebody like that?
no, she's such. I tweeted, I was like, a Gossip Girl writer needs to hit my line because like I want to know how this, like, were you guys just picking Jenny Humphrey
Right,
traits out of a hat every week?
right.
You have to watch. It's a great show.
I will.
Eventually,
I have to finish Monk. And by the way, guess who was just on the last episode of Monk I watched?
who?
Daddy Mafia Boss.
No way.
Yeah.
Monk was ABC, wasn't it?
I want to say sure.
I think it was. So that would make sense because ABC likes to recycle actors. I also started watching High Potential on ABC, and this is a very like LA moment for me because I know one of the stars in it, Daniel something. He's one of Jade's friends, boyfriends.
Okay.
So I've been to their like parties and stuff.
Oh
So
wow.
I'm watching it. I'm like, oh my god, I literally know him. And then one of the other actors in it, I was like, why do I know who he is? And I looked him up, and I met him at the 4th of July party I was at. So I was
Oh
like,
wow.
wait, oh my god, this is like my little LA moment. But it's a good show. You should watch. Okay, so then no 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 no. Yeah, so McCluskey makes a call. Susan in the dresser. So Andrew starts sneaking Mother Hodge wine, and he's like, "What? I'm just helping out my grandmother." This was so. This reminded me of my grandma. Last week I said this reminded me of my Aunt Lisa. Now this reminds me of my grandma because she used to do this. Like she wasn't allowed to. Like she was definitely an alcoholic, and my mom was like, "I'm not bringing you wine anymore." So she would like call my mom's friends and have her bring wine. Like this was so like I've been in this
Hysterical.
situation, huh?
That's hysterical.
Yeah, I would like the personality and everything. I was like, this is literally my grandma.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, he's like, I was just helping out my grandmother. And she's like, you've been extorting me. You said you'd have to do this, this, this to bring my wine.
Wait, Mother Hodge actress is dead.
Wait, that's sad. What's
Yeah,
her
I'm
name?
Dixie Carter.
When did she die?
2010.
What?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
No way.
Don't you think it's weird to think that, like, okay, this episode aired sometime in 2006, and she didn't know it, but 4 years later, she would be dead?
I don't. Yeah. Whoa, spooky. Oh, that's sad. She looks like Allison Janney a little bit
I see that, yeah.
in this photo I'm looking at.
Oh, I'm sad.
R.I.P. Oh, she was a Broadway girl. She was
I
in
just
Carousel.
sent Hannah the picture of me in the wig. She fell for it.
What did you tell her? You cut hair?
Yeah. Well, I didn't say anything. I just sent the pictures, but I made sure to cut off the top where you could see like
Mm.
how bad the hairline is.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that at first.
I think I sent you the one where you can't really see the hairline.
Oh, okay.
But she's being really sweet about it. That's so funny.
What'd
I
she
knew I
say?
could fool Hannah. She goes, "No way. I love it. It's so Gracie Abrams of you. OMG, so chic. I want to do the same thing. You slay, sister." Oh, I love her so much.
She's the best person in the world. Who's trying to follow my Insta?
I would do it if I wasn't commitment phobic. Okay, so
Hold on. I Hannah just texted me as you said that.
what did she say?
She texted me and Kevin, asking if we're playing Mario Party because I texted Kevin like a Nintendo question, and I'm gonna send you this video.
Okay.
I sent this video to them when they were out of town, and I was blacked out walking by their apartment because I don't remember this. Cut, 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 cut. But I think like one of the baseball nights, Alexis bought me a shot of 818, and I just took it back, and like
Oh no.
I like blacked out really bad. Like I went to text them in our Valley Heart Jews chat, and I was like, I don't know what this is.
Oh my God, Christy.
Yeah, it's not nothing good. But then I woke up the next morning, I felt fine, and I hiked and voted.
But you blacked out?
I think so. I don't remember this.
That is really insane.
I'm
Okay.
obsessed with the video of Ariana Grande in one of like the Wicked trailers going, wow.
Oh yeah.
Every video I see of her talking about getting this role, I start crying.
I want her to body it really, really bad.
No, people say she's gonna get Oscar nomination for this.
Oh my God.
Like I literally start crying every time because she's just one of us in at heart.
I know. I think my issue is that like right now, I'm sure during the film it'll change, but right now I'm looking at that and I'm seeing Ariana Grande rather than Glinda. So I'm like really, really trying to.
She said that in one of the videos. She was like, "That's so fair of people to question it if you only know side to side or something." But she's like her pop career and everything. That's like a side hustle for her. Like this is all she's ever wanted.
Right, right, right.
So
That's so,
that's why I'm like, okay, if it couldn't be us,
yeah,
like
I
I'm
guess.
glad it's her. And she said she was like, I was gonna cut the sweet if I had to cancel the Sweetener tour to audition and do this, like I would have done it. She said 2 years when she just heard whispers of the audition, she got a vocal coach and an
Wow.
acting train, and she was like training for this. So that's why I'm like, okay, you deserve it so much. I know.
I would have been interested to see my nemesis Dove Cameron in it because I feel like she could have bodied as well.
Yeah,
But
definitely one of other Kristen Chenoweth's daughters.
right, right, right.
But I think Ariana was definitely the better choice. And all early reviews are coming in and saying this movie's like insane and very, very good.
Good.
Yeah. And I think now it makes sense that it's split into two because I feel like the second one's just going to be kind of darker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 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 for sure.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, I can't. I'm so sick over this. I can't wait.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Anyway. Um, so so Andrew was sneaking her wine and she starts drunk yelling about how Orson cheated on Alma with Monique. And this is like, phew. And Brie doesn't question it. She goes, what do you mean by that? And she's like, yeah. She goes, no, that was,
Hey,
what's the shooter's name?
Carolyn.
Carolyn. She was like, that was Carolyn Bigsby's husband's mistress, not Orson. She goes, Monique was a whore. She got around. Ask Orson. And then Bree's like, huh? She goes, well, when we were at the morgue, why did you act like you've never seen that woman before in your life if you had an affair? So she freaks out, runs out of the house. Then there's this really weird shot of like taken from far away of Bree walking out of the house. And that's what leads me to believe that this is the Marcia Cross pregnant season because I
Oh,
think that was just a weird shot.
uh-huh.
Um, and then Orson chases after her, and then she comes back at some point and she goes, "Hey, I just think it's a little bit weird that the two other women in your life have disappeared and showed up dead. So like, you got to pack your things, get out." And he's like, "But I love you so much," and she goes, "I know, and that's what terrifies me." Incredible.
Yeah, she was amazing. I wish we had more Brie in this episode. It felt like a little bit like we didn't get
That's
enough.
why I feel like pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to just look it up because it's bothering me now.
Then Gabby goes back to pageant class and she pleads with the mothers and she's apologizing and she is like, I just really, really need this. I'm so jealous of you guys. Like, you have husbands and families and I have nothing. Like, this is the thing that would get me up in the morning, basically.
I thought that was really sweet. I liked seeing her like that, and like all these women were judging her and thinking she has everything because she's like skinny and beautiful. And she's like, "Well, no, yeah, like I'm pretty, but you guys, you have it all." And they're all just like being judgy. And then she goes, "Please let me back. I can also get diet pills from Sweden." And they're like, "Okay, give them to me." Not um Gabby inventing Ozempic.
For like a minute watching that, I thought she was going to say Ozempic. And then I
Yeah,
was
me too.
like, wait.
But it wasn't time.
Then Orson goes to talk to Bree. She is devastated. She wants him out of the house, basically. She's like, I packed your things. You gotta go.
Yeah. Wait, I said that too early, but
Yeah,
whatever.
it's fine.
And then McCluskey is spying on Art, and there's like this whole montage about bad men. McCluskey's spying on Art, and then Susan's like eyeing Rupert as she's getting something out of the drawer, and then Mike page out of the Paul Young playbook here. Goes to bury the toolbox in the middle of the
Yup.
night and
Yeah.
gets caught by the detective. And it's like, again, why didn't you just wash it at home? Like, you have the tools at home, just wash them.
Right.
Or give them to somebody. Like, why are you burying them in the woods in the middle of the night? Like, we've clearly seen that doesn't work. So
Right. Multiple times.
all I can think of is, I want to be caught.
I want to be caught.
At Visco, I want to be caught.
That was so funny.
Yeah, it really was. Okay, guys, that's our episode. I hope we brought better energy this week. Follow for more. And we this is also fully, this entire month is gonna be a Wicked podcast. Like, sorry.
We're in Wickvember, and I don't think anyone's upset about it.
It's literally November. Oh my god. Wait, I was talking to listener Georgie today, and he's like, I need your thoughts on the book. And I was like, I will give them to you. So start the book, and we can like, we'll do like a little like book club next week for like a couple of minutes.
Okay, amazing.
Because I'm gonna start it tonight, period.
Period, point blank.
Okay, period, point blank. Okay, guys. Until next time, this has been We Know What You Did.
That makes no sense.
We're going to tell. And
y'all come back now.
you heard?
You heard?
Bye. Ah.